Hi, welcome back to Spring CS170. I'm just gonna pick up where we were before about Excel. So now we're on to sorting. Excuse me. So on the sorting, we have obviously different ways to sort, whether it's alphabetically or numerically. Uh, you just basically choose a key to do some sorting. So what I've done here is I've set up something simple here. I've done key 1, key 2, and then just a label. It doesn't really matter, but I did this to just hopefully illustrate the sorting a bit. So here I am on the data, right? If you look up top, I have data, and then you see this button called sort, okay? So what I'll do here is I'll just select this, like that. So this is the whole thing, right? This is the data down here, and then these are the titles up here on the first line. But when I hit the sort, it automatically recognizes that this first part here is the title. Okay, so you're basically going to sort by whatever, right? So if I click on this, you can see key 1, key 2, and label. All right, and I labeled a key 1 just to make it simple. So you can see I'm going to sort by this key 1 first, which will be alphabetic, right? You can see just A, B, C, D, whatever in here. And it's just sorting the values. Now I'm going to add a level here, right? So you can see what it says here. It says sort by and then by. And you just pick key 2, right? And then right here, you can see it's smallest to largest because you see I only have numbers in here. Okay, so I'm just using this as a small example to show you how to do the sorting by one key and then another key. Okay, and then when I do that, you can see what happened here. First thing it did was sort the A's, right? So the A's came up to the top, and then within the A's, you can see 3 and 4, right? I sorted that again. And same thing with the Z's, right? You can see the Z's, and then that also is sorted by 3 and 4. Okay, so hopefully this was a little small illustration of how you can do the sorting with multiple keys. Okay, all right, so this part here, basically doing counting, min, max, you'll see later on with sums and stuff like that. It's going to be basically the things that really Excel or most spreadsheets are known for, right? So these are very common types of things that you're going to be doing, right? And you can see all of that here, right? And so you can punch this in yourself if you want, right? So you can punch in like these items with their prices, and then you can just do the functions here, right? So in this case, let's say I did a max, right? So I would just do equals max, and you can see Excel is pretty helpful. It kind of shows you all these different things that match up with that, right? And I type A here, and then it reduces the list here, right? So let's say in this case, I select max, right? And I'm just gonna, for a heck of it, just select this, right? So that's my range that I'm gonna go against, and then I'll just close it off. And the max is 4, right? So you can see the highest number here is 4. And so that's just application of the max function, right? And you can do the same with all of these, right? So min, sum, count, average. A little bit of misspelling here with the average, but yeah, all of these are basically what you're going to find as functions, standard functions within Excel. Okay, so all you do is just start typing. Let's say I did the M before. Let's say I did the A. Right, so you see all of these here. There's a whole bunch of functions you can get to that's built into Excel. And then if you want to, you can build out your own custom functions too. Okay, but you can look here. If I click on formulas up top, I mean, you just look up at the top here, you see all these different things here. I mean, it's just a ton of them, right? So play with these as much as you want. It's more than enough, and if that's not enough for you, you can go ahead and add your own, create your own functions here. Okay. So these are key things here: max, min, sum, count, and average. Like I said, these are things that are basic for almost any spreadsheet that you're going to play around with. So get familiar with those. Here you have counting. So there's a couple of different count functions that you have here. You have things here like counting non-empty cells or counting blanks, okay? Be careful with this. This goes back to the point I made a couple of lectures ago. A blank is not the same thing as empty, right? Let me see if I can illustrate that here. So if I want to do a count blank, just gonna something in here. You don't see it, but I'm putting a blank space there. You saw my little cursor move there. I put it in blank. And now, if I want to check on this, let's say I have like a whole bunch of these and I'm trying to find out like where there's some data quality issues. In this case, I'm saying, oh, when is there like a blank or an empty cell for T2 is a better word, right? So then I'm going to say, well, let me use this count blank, see if there's anything in there. So let me do equals count blank. Okay, and that's this. And you can even see it has a little thing that pops up there. It says counts the number of empty cells in a specified range of cells. So let's click on that. And then let's click on this. Okay, so F2 through F7. And then I close it off. Well, it tells me that I don't have any blank, right? But if I'm looking at this and I didn't know any better, I'd say, wait, there's a blank here on this row here, row 7. Why is that not showing up as 1? The reason is because I put the blank in there. Now, if I empty this out, I do a clear contents, magically it becomes a 1, all right? Because now that's a true empty cell, okay? So that's something that's very common mistake there. So if you're looking for some issues or whatever, you want to be able to look for, like an empty cell. It's not the same thing as a blank, right? If I put a blank there from like hitting the space bar, it's not going to pick that up, okay? And then here's another thing, a count if, right? Clear this out here. I guess. So clear content, and let's do a count if. So equals count if, and well, it kind of tells you right here, right? Over a certain range, what's the criteria? And then you count it. So let's get this range here. And then what's the criteria? How about equals 4? Oops, I didn't want to put equal there. There we go. Okay, so look at this. So what this is saying is that over this range, F2 to F7, if there's anything that equals to 4, give me the count of it. So there's 2 entries here that equals to 4, so that's why I got 2. Let's say I want to look for anything less than 5. So now I go less than 5. Let's see here. Okay. Stupid mistake. So I left the quotes out there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how come I have that, right? So that's my criteria there, right? It's less than 5. And as you just noticed here, you need to have these quotes in there so it picks it up. If you don't put the quotes in there, you get the error that I just got, okay? All right, so that kind of comes up with this, right? You can play around with it on your own, just do the same type of things that I did here. Just clear this up. So don't worry about like these cell references here, right? These are just examples, right? But this is what it's telling you when it does the count all the way through to the count if, right? They're basically just showing you the example similar to what I just did here with some real data, okay? So this is like an if here, right? So you ask a question, it's a if. So let's say in this case, if this cell is greater than 50, then the first part is true, then the second part is false, right? So let's say I do this, so equals if, and then again here it tells you logical test and the value if true and the value if false. So in this case, let me see if F2 equals to 4, and I'm going to say true, else I'm going to say false. Okay, so obviously it's false because that's not the value I was looking for, right? I was looking for 4. Now let me see if I can drag this down. I'm going to take this formula and pass it all the way down to the others. And you can see wherever I have a 4, which is what I'm looking for, it becomes a true and a false. Okay. I mean, obviously I could have put whatever in here. I just happened to put true or false, but I could have put anything in here. Whatever you wanted to do. You can have it display stuff. You can have it like feed in numbers or whatever, right? In this case, I did something simple just to say true or false, right? So that's what you would use something like the if statement for. And you can do other things within the if. So you can do this part. You see this part in red here with the and you can also do a not, right? So again, something you can play around with. So in this case, let's say I want to put an and here. So I'm gonna go and basically I'm gonna be looking for multiple logical conditions, right? So the F2 equals F4 is already my first logical condition. Then I'm going to go for my second one. Let's see what my second one is. Let me say if this equals to A, that's my other one. Then I'm going to close it off. And so that's my and, right? And again, it's false. And then let me drag this formula down to everything else. Now you can see based on this, I used the and here, and you can see where this is equal to 4 and this is equal to A, right? 4 and A, it becomes true, right? So this is how you would use the and condition. And as you can imagine, if you want to do the or you want to do the not, you can apply that in the same way I just applied the and. Okay. So this next portion is going into charts. So I'm going to take a break here and we'll cut another video for charts.